G'day, this is Loken, and welcome back to Vintage Story. We're going to head into the second day for this game. It's going to be my second episode. It's going to go on for probably a bit longer this time, probably about an hour. And we're going to look at a few things. I'm not running any editing software. I'm just running live as we go, pretty much. So. Yeah, as the day goes, I'll be doing different stuff. My main priority today will be trying to get to the larger ruins I saw on the map in the first episode. Have a look at my first episode called The First Night. Yeah, and we'll see where we go from there. It's just gone dawn on the second day. I've got a few drifters hanging around causing a bit of grief. I'll just take this wood out of the fire. You don't waste your wood unless you can help yourself. So the time it's just coming up to 5 a.m. So what we're going to be looking at today is I'm roughly here. I'm going to zip down to this area here and have a quick squizzy around. And I'm going to be aiming for this area here. So we're going to basically come down around here, and I'll probably zip around these islands a little bit and see what we see and finish up back here. I should be able to get there in one day, maybe two, depends on what happens, but we shall see how we go during the day. Alright, let's get out of here while they smash my way through here just quickly. We don't want that. We don't want any of that. We want that. Drifters you can see as the sun comes up, the drifters get a little bit less interested in hanging around. So let's quickly have a check of the map where we're at. Yeah, we'll go around this way. Follow that drifter that was just running off into the distance. Listen out for wolf sign. They're the things that are going to give you the grief the most at the moment. Whenever you hit ruins, always check them out. Like there's a pot just here. A few things out of that, no doubt. That's okay. There's some Cooper's reeds, which is really good. Running lots of mods in this game. None of them are going to make this game any easier. It just makes it a touch more challenging and interesting. Just having a quick squizzy down there. What's going on down there? Not much. I might mark that on the map for a exploratory little visit later. Just quick. For those who don't know, you just right click on the map and type in the name you want to leave. The color is, there's actually, you can click on this list, it'll open up a website and you can see all the colors that you can type there if you're so inclined. And I use a few basic colors, nothing over the top. So no, there's something to come back to there. Actually, I might just quickly change that icon to something a little less. Let's do that one. There we go. Alright. So this room wasn't far from where we were anyway. If I dig underground here, I'm going to find some bony soil, which I mentioned in my first episode, which is really handy for getting some good relics out of the ground. Right now, I'm just going to head across to my right here. Is that right? Yeah. Head over this way and see what we see. I made Cooper's reeds are good. Actually, while I'm here, I'm just going to grab a couple more of these and make a couple of bags. You may or may not have heard that. Then there's a wolf heading in that direction, from roughly what I can tell. Yeah, just grab a few of these. You need 10 total, as I mentioned in the first video. 10 total for a bag. I'm also grabbing the roots as well because they're good to cook. They'll keep me alive for the first night. So basically it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. If you saw the first video, you would have seen that as well. That'll do for now. You can see here on my hotbar I've got lavender seeds. I'm running a extra plants and that sort of stuff. I can paint equipment. I've also got an alchemy mod running on this as well, which I haven't delved into much at the moment, but looks really cool. It's make all sorts of potions and that sort of stuff, which sort of works for me, being a lover of RPGs to begin with. So might just head over this way a bit. Another bandit, which we'll avoid at the moment. You want to... Stuff like that is resin. You'll need that later on in the game. Once again, I'll make more mention of those in later episodes when I start to get down to things like making windmills and that sort of stuff. I'll show you how that stuff comes into it. You can actually make a raft. There's a mod you can add to the game that helps you build a raft, which makes getting across waters like this. Although not so much the shallow water, but the deeper water you can see here, you get across nice and quick. Alright, like in the first episode, we have found some more copper. Surface copper. Just going to chuck a marker on there for later, and we'll come back to that when we're in a position to actually dig under the ground. This one will be a bit of fun too because it's right on the water's edge. What we're going to need to do shortly is grab some of this sand and build a panning pan. And from there we can start getting our 20 pieces of copper nuggets we need to actually make a pickaxe. Once again, we really need to get properly established in a more permanent location. Like I said, I'm heading for this direction here, so I'll just keep heading south. You never stop exploring in this game. I love this game. It never gets boring as far as I'm concerned. There's always something different happening, always something going on. Temperature at the moment 7 degrees. You can see on my body temperature there, it's slowly dropping. Once that gets down to around about 33 degrees, I start to lose health. So maintaining a nice dry sort of exterior also helps. What have we got over here? Anything interesting? Swimming around in this water is probably not the best thing to be doing at the moment, but we're still heading out. Still early days for us. So, alright, so I'll just check the map just quick. I'm going to head straight down there and just run along the coast here and end up over here. I can pick up the surface copper. That would also help get me to a point where I can build an axe quickly. I should have grabbed that lot, but I didn't think about it at the time. I'm too busy doing other stuff. I'm sure I'll come across more as I travel. I can go back. There's only like 2 or 3 pieces anyway. It's not going to make a lot of difference. I'm still going to have to do some panning at the end of the day to get what I need to get my first pickaxe. And once you get your first pickaxe, everything gets more interesting after that. Can I see over there in the distance anything interesting? Looks like archways. What's that over there? Always keep checking. Look, always keep your eyes open because you never know what you're going to run into. And grab some of those. Some bit of a feed because you get so busy looking around you forget to feed yourself half the time. You start starving to death. We got there, granite. Not a big deal. We'll keep those for later. Current time is 9 AM. I forget this is the longer time servo. That's good. What have we got in here? Nothing interesting. Be careful when you walk up to the edge of these things because it's only soil. It sometimes will give way on you. Alright, we'll come back to those later. Once again, something else to explore later once we get established. Alright, so basically the cathedral, I guess is what you would call it, is in this general direction. Every fruit berry bush you find, raid it, you're going to need it. Blueberries are not too bad. Later on I'll start chopping these berry bushes out of the ground and relocating them. They're an easy source of food. I find cranberries seem to grow really good in colder climates as well. That's just my observation so far, not necessarily the correct one, but yeah. As we're moving along here, carts. Black carts, empty. Double check down the hill here. A few bunnies. I could probably hit one of those if I'm patient enough. Might try to clobber one. You're going to kill bunnies, you need spears. They'll eventually stop moving if you're patient enough. No, that one's taken off. It's all good. So we'll be eating fruit tonight. Alright, so I suspect the ruins that we're heading towards will be just over this hill in that direction. Is that right? Yep. Granite. How are we doing for wood? We're going to need some wood as well. This wind makes it a little harder to hear predators coming up on you. Sometimes you'll just step on top of a wolf and not realise it. Best defence is to leg it. Alright, so here's this cathedral we were looking at before. I call it a cathedral, could be a church, could be an old Viking hall, depends on how you look at it. If you're going to make this in your base, these things are great. In another game I actually put a whole roof on this and completely decked the joint out. Really quite cool with some of the stuff that's in these places. You dig down a little bit, you'll find bony soil, that sort of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff underneath these half the time. Looking at this location, yeah, look, it's alright. I'll probably find myself digging up half the mountainside on the other side of it, trying to make some flat ground for crops and that sort of stuff. There's plenty of trees around, which is always a good thing. Yeah, this is not a bad little spot. Got a few turnips here, I won't bother yet. That's on 5 out of 5, so that's ready to go. What else we've got over here? Anything interesting? Now you can see on the corners of my screen here, over here, I'm starting to get. It looks like frost. What's happening is I'm getting cold. See, I'm down to 30 degrees now, 33 degrees, basically. I'll start shivering and my health will start to deteriorate from here. I really need to fire up a camp, have a good look at what I'm going to do at this place here, and I need to build some temporary shelters. A temporary shelter while I work out the best way of how I'm going to go about building this base. So right now, my priority right now is to get some warmth going, because that's what's happening. I'm shivering the backside off, and if I choose to ignore this, I will end up keeling over. Anyway, so let's have a quick look. Like I said, there's some bony soil straight away. You'll probably find at this end of town with these skull blocks, there's plenty of this stuff lying around. It'll keep you amused in the cold, long winter nights when you'll pan through that stuff, and yeah, it'll work well for you. Anyway, let me just work out how I'm going to spend the night here. I might just quickly make up a shovel. It's going to be needed. Dig out some of the sand and grab some of these blocks, and make a temporary shelter just to get me by while I work on this base. Like everything, one stick, one piece of flint chiseled out, you giggle, everything's done for you. Alright, first things first, I'm going to get the fire going. If you missed the previous episode, basically making a fire is 1 piece of grass, 4 pieces of firewood, and yep, that'll keep you going for your first lot of cooking and stuff like that. So 2, 3, 4, and it would have helped if I had not got ahead of myself before and actually made a torch from instead of having to crank up a fire starter, which I pretty much hate because they take forever to get going. So this time I'll get this thing going and then we'll make some torches, and you don't have to worry about your fire starter again after that. As I said in my previous episode, fire starters are an exercise in patience. As you can see by my screen, I'm slowly freezing to death. My core temperature in my body's dropped pretty low. It'll come back up pretty quick once I get this fire going. Hopefully sometime today. Yep. Hopefully I don't freeze to death before this thing gets going. Anytime soon it'd be nice. Why do I get the feeling I'm in too windy an area, hence why this thing's not lighting? Let me just chuck that down. Chuck that down. I don't really want to rip this structure apart too much because I'm going to use it. Just create extra work for myself. See if that helps a bit. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, so get rid of this thing. It's just taking up valuable spaces in the bag. And get the fire going. Right, to make torches, basically one stick makes one torch. I would recommend probably 3 or 4 sticks. After that, you're going to have all you need to get a fire going. Alright, so while that's cranking up, let's move around some of these blocks. I'm just going to make a temporary shelter out of these blocks. As you can see straight away, my screen's recovered. My temperature, core temperature's coming up again. It's still not quite up there yet, but it's enough to allow me to keep working without too many problems. I'm not sure whether my hunger rate increases when I'm colder. That's something I've never actually bothered to look into. Once again, I use these buildings mainly because infrastructure's already in place. I quickly bash a roof on them. One mod you might want to think about getting is what's it called? I think it's expanded workbench. Really good mod for building scaffolding, particularly. Yeah. So see if you can find yourself that mod. Chuck it in. I haven't figured out any other recipes yet for it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Scaffolding makes building that much easier. It just takes all the hard work out of it. Let's get rid of some of this sand just quick. See what we find underneath. Yeah, that's what I figured. Alright, what's my timing? Oh, I have plenty of time. Not sure. Rainfall's not too bad in this area. As I said before, bony soil. Keep you amused for hours in the winter months. You get some really cool stuff out of there. I found at least 3 or 4 books to go with the story of the game, sort of filled in the background of what's happened to this place, because you basically dropped into it and you got no idea what's going on. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly do this base foundation, nothing fancy, just get it up quick. I'll make the doorway, yep, that'll do. Not in a mad rush, we've got plenty of time. Like I said, I don't want to rip the foundations apart if I have to freaking avoid it. Over the next couple of days we'll actually start sealing off the sides, and then we'll start climbing ideally the step pieces are great for that, for the roof on this thing. It took me about, on my other map, it took me about a week to build up the roof on this thing. I don't need to worry about it too much at the moment. If I look at the calendar, we're in May. I've still got at least 6 months to go before winter rocks up. By that stage I need to have the roof on, otherwise I'm just going to get covered in snow and it's going to get a wee bit chilly, to say the least. Alright, let's just keep going with this roof. I saw today that the new expansion pack came out, the new 1.14.9's come out, so I'm running that currently now, having no issues, running good. Just going to put on a little roof just to get me by. That's hilarious. Those things are ornery as hell. They basically, you get near them, they'll have a crack at you. They tend to, I don't know. Not sure how they program them, but at the end of the day, they're not particularly friendly. Alright, let's keep this going. If you upset one of them, they'll spend the rest of their life hunting you down and trying to kill you. These things seriously hold a grudge. And that's the male. That's basically the ram. The female's not so touchy. So we've got ourselves a wolf not far away. Right now I am not particularly tough enough to take on a wolf. Just get this roof on and then we will start making a plan of how we're going to go about fixing this joint up. I think there is, I'm not sure if there's anything special about these skull blocks. They look cool. That's about all I've found so far. If anybody's got any ideas if there's any significant thing about them, leave it in the comments below. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what your thoughts are. All I know from experience is this I get excited when I see bony soil because I've got gold coins, I've got weapons, I've got all sorts of stuff out of this stuff. So whenever you see this stuff, grab it. It's worth, you can get some really cool stuff out of it. Don't overlook it. Just carry it back to your base and just stick it in the base for the time being, and yeah, use it a bit later. Alright, let's chuck a block there. Right, so that's roughly, yeah, I might just go outside here. Be careful, there might be, so that wolf sounds like it's pretty close, so I don't want to get too, let's do that. And then, right, that'll do me. Something to think about also, wolves will probably be able to get through this hole. I know pigs can get through there. Drifters, on the other hand, no chance. If I can't get through it, they can't get through it, so that's pretty much a yardstick. But four-legged animals, yeah, they're not gonna have too much trouble getting through there. So just be aware of that. It doesn't take much to make out a rudimentary what's the word I'm looking for? Shelter for the night. Alright, now I left my bed back in the other place there. The reason being is there's a cave there. Where did I leave it? Around about there from memory. Anyway, I'm just going to leave a marker there just to remind me that I did leave a bed and whatnot for later, so I'll just put my little caravan icon. So if ever in this area and I need to camp out the night, I know there's something up there I can use in the meantime. Alright, so we need to offload some of this crap, otherwise we're not going to get anything built. seeds at the moment. Way too early for that. Alright, we need 18 pieces of dry grass to make a bed. And there's, so far in the game, I've seen 3 different types of bed. 2 you can make, 1 you generally find when you're spelunking, particularly when you're heading. You might head down in a cave and it turns into a cool dungeon. You never know your luck in this game. That should do me. So just quickly. Alright. So there's my bed for the night, so that's cool. All basic stuff done. Up here. Yeah. Alright, so I'm not going to get any sort of interference in there, so I'm going to put him right there, like so. Alright, that's cool. Might chuck something down there, just fill that gap up. Right, we're good. Right, so this is going to be my temporary shelter for the time being. I find gates, rough gates, very handy for sealing off the doors and have to keep knocking it down. So we're going to need some wood. No, that'll do. I don't know why there's a tree. Oh, there's 2 trees growing there, but that's fine. There's my trusty axe. Just quickly rip this down and make a couple of gates, and that will allow me to. Didn't pick that up. I think it's a really cool idea to replant trees every opportunity you get. It makes a big difference to. There we go. You're going to need lots of wood in this game, a non-stop supply of wood. So every opportunity you get, make sure you're planting trees. Ooh, he sounds really close. He sounds like he's just over the back there. One of my ways of dealing with wolves particularly is that in the early stages I'll dig a 3x4 wide and long pit, and I usually make it about 3 squares deep. And later on you can add spikes to it if you've got the mod, but I tend to, if I run into the wolf, I make a beeline from my what I call my deadfall pit, and basically the wolf will follow you into it, and then you armed with spears, you then give the guy a bit of a spanking, and you'll end up with a bit of bushmeat, which is handy. And there you go, I've made some gates, so we are doing good. I don't need that. I'll put that there and put that there. Now we'll just chuck the gates down. So it's a double door, but it works well enough. So basically, once again, to make a gate, 4 pieces of wood. Not sure if I could do it with this wood mod I'm using, and 4 sticks, and chuck in your axe. It's up here, and then you should know. Because I'm using this mod, it won't allow me because it's different types of wood. But that's basically the configuration to make a rough gate. So, alrighty. Get rid of this grass because it's getting dark now. I probably haven't got enough food to get me by the night, but that's life. I won't die. I don't think I'll have too many problems. I might get some. Now I've got my torches going, which is exactly what I was chasing. Can't do much with berries. We need to chuck those in there like so. And feathers we'll use for arrows later. Not a huge bow and arrow user myself, but you know, each their own. So that knife somewhere's gone. With your torches you can just right click and start making stuff. You can hang your torches on the wall by right-clicking. They'll burn out eventually, and in the rain, if they're left out in the open, exposed to the elements, they'll die fairly quickly. So, our wolf is being rather annoying. I haven't made a kill pit for that, so I'll call it a night in here. Just make a bit more extra firewood. What's in there? That's pine and pine, so we're giggling. Yeah, that'll do for the night. What time is it? 8 o'clock roughly. So we're gonna just have a quick look at my inventory setup here, which isn't the greatest at the moment, but a bit of a feed. And this thing is now cooked, which is good. So like I said, we're sitting on a bit of a peninsula here. Some really good sources of wood around here. Things I'm looking for are old ruins. There's relics of an old bridge up there. Haven't seen any oh, there we go. Trading post. That is a trading post. Okay, so you can head over there. You would have been on the other side of the hill when it came through. So the middle number of here is the altitude from memory. So he's just about the same height as me. I must have missed him completely when we came through. There's some ruins there as well. Things to have a squizzy at. Plenty of time at the moment for before winter comes, so we're not in a mad rush. Looks like we got a bit of a drifter rocking up. I better stand back. I didn't plan that one out too well, did I? I'm not going to be able to do much. Oh, yes, I can do that. It's been annoying. Rack off. We'll just close up that side for the night. I've still got a hole out there to see when it's daylight, and I've got that, so that's fine. That'll keep them at bay. Where was I? Alright, in the morning we will have a look at what we've got to build around here and start making further plans. It shouldn't take too long. Temperature's 13 degrees, not too bad. Not the healthiest person at the moment, food-wise. My gear's getting a bit tatty as well, so... Oh, well, it's all good. So it is now 4 AM in the morning. We're going to wait a little bit. You can see it's got like a reddish tinge to it, which is the sun coming up. I haven't found any clay, so when you're looking on the map, signs of peat, like this area here would be the peat, more likely peat. This area here would be clay. So the first thing I'm going to do is check this out. Peat. Yeah, look, peat's handy for burning, cooking with. There's another stack here, so there's plenty of peat around this area. We're not going to have too much of interest in heading towards the east, but in a little while I'm going to zip over here and grab some clay, and I'll start showing you how to make pots and stuff like that. So now I generally, now the night is gone, I will grab that and actually let me just change this around a bit. Bit of a feed on that. I don't like wasting my wood, so I'll take the wood off the fire. It'll burn a bit because we've got this is the last log we've got loaded on. It's slowly burning down. This stuff takes about 60 seconds to burn out. What I'm going to do is I'll crouch down and I'll right click on the ground. I can hold the shift key down and it'll pretty much drop everything in a big hit, one big hit. So just crouching down, right clicks, takes offloads 2 at a time. Holding the shift, I think it does a row at a time. So anyway, so I think we're pretty good to go. Grab my spear out and run out the door. I'm going to avoid going that way because I know there's a wolf over there. I'll just head over this way for a bit. The drifters will follow me for a little bit. This stuff's good. She shells. Inside a quern or whatever you call them, the thing that grinds up stuff. You can get some good lime out of those. I don't use them a lot. I mostly grind up limestone from my lime, which you use for tanning and that sort of stuff. Lime is used in quite a few potions, so quite a lot of stuff. So, all right, so let's head over to this area that we saw on the map. Once again, there's turnips. Eat them raw. If you've got enough of them, you can. Yeah, drifters are coming. You got enough of those, you can start making some stew, but you need pots and stuff like that. So, priority number one this morning is finding clay. If I poke that drifter a few times, you'll probably get annoyed and run off after a while. All right, quick look at the map. And we've still got a fair distance to go, so let's head up top here. How are we doing for sticks? Always keep an eye on your stick level. For some reason these two don't want to merge together, so let's just get rid of those two for the time being. Always keep your eyes open. You never know when you're going to run into some more copper. Here we go. That's a little bit of surface copper. I'm going to grab this bit, but first I'm just going to tag it. Now I know there's copper. It looks, I judge, I might be wrong about this, but I judge the amount of copper on the surface to the size of the vein underneath. So there's not much here. There might be I might get about 20 pieces out of it. All right, let's get rid of that shadow. We need that. Piss it off. Grab that. All right, so it's not telling me much. All right, so we've got a bit of copper. That's handy to know. Once we get a pickaxe up, well, first thing I do is come over and hack the hell out of that joint, and we'll be able to start making a few more tools. And I made, in my first video, I mentioned going from the Stone Age into the Iron Age. What I actually meant was going from Stone Age into the Bronze Age, and then later you get into the Iron Age. Easier said than done, trust me. To get in the bronze, you're going to need tin, and tin is, as I mentioned in my first episode, not easy to find. Alright, I think I've got something on the map. I don't bother having the mini map at the top here. Just gets in the way, makes it too easy sometimes as well. Having the main map is a bit like pulling out a map out of your pocket and having a look where you are. Once again, the fact that it's giving me a location marker sort of defeats the purpose of trying to be full well in survival, but there's mods you can add that'll actually make it impossible for you to use maps or see coordinates. Alright, so we want to keep heading up the top of this hill. Get a few bit of loose stuff on the ground here. Granite's good for making a quern. I'll show you how to hopefully be able to make one of those very shortly. But before we make a quern, we have to be able to make a pickaxe, because we're going to dig underground and pull out solid lumps of, well, in this case we're probably going to be granite to make it. Alrighty, so where are we in the map? A little bit over that way. You'll start seeing it. It's a little lighter in colour. Walking around a handful of food. Might as well chew out this food while we're waiting. It doesn't last long, so. Alrighty. What's that? Moss. Oh, that's a new mod I've got. Alright, that's cool. Don't know what it does yet. I'll figure that out. Oh, I picked up something. What did I pick up? Okay, cool. Like I said, don't know. I've got a few mods going that I'm not familiar with. Ah, here we go. Ooh, might be fire. No, it's blue clay. All right, so this is blue clay. It's pretty most common clay in the game. Start digging. This stuff. You're going to pretty much make everything out of this stuff, so it comes out pretty easily. It comes out quicker with a copper Lucky, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So right now, the plan, now I've established what I think is going to be a long-term base, is get the infrastructure in place for smithing, food storage particularly, because having to go out and find food every day gets a bit tedious after a while. You want to try to get past that stage as soon as possible. I got 60. I might get rid of that flint. I'm not too bothered by that. Yeah. Gotta throw everything around here. Go, rack off. There you go. Alright. Yeah, getting your pots up nice and quick allows you to store more gear. Just, you know, you get the general drift of it, I believe. Alrighty. So I'm just going to quickly put a mark on the map here just to remind me there's blue clay here. And I'll just use that icon there. So now I know there's a stack of blue clay over here. You want to keep an eye out for, there's another type of clay that's thing called fire clay, and that's what you're going to need for, fire clay is great for making bricks. And later on, this is all covered in moss. Oh, that's cool. Later on, you'll start making things like bloomeries and that sort of stuff. Once again, I'm not going to rabbit on too much about it. Excuse the puns, and there's rabbits everywhere. I'm just having a quick squeezy around. Got some cool forests. Now you can see all the moss on the map now. That's interesting. There must be some recipes in the mod that I've added that you can make with moss. I look forward to figuring that out later. Any local ruins that I can see? Just this one over here, which is in that direction. Yeah, all right. The next thing we're going to make after we've got our bags up is I'm going to make a note of that. Is we're going to make some cloth bags, and we need flax and that sort of stuff for that. These plants that you see lying around, I'll point them out in a minute when I find one. Rabbit thinks I'm chasing him. Can't be bothered. This stuff here, this is Weaver's Weed. It's a mod I've chucked in. It just makes it a little easier to do. What's this stuff? Mossy soil. From here, you'll get some flax off it. If I chop it up, you'll get some healing stuff as well. So his makes it a little, maybe a little bit too easy to get the flax fibers, but meh, it is what it is. We don't want feathers, can't be bothered. Yeah, this stuff's good as well. This is giving me a little bit of health, but it also it's good to eat with. We don't want that. I get a little bit of health, 1 hit point returned when I eat it, so it's not too bad. Alright, moving right along. General area, plenty of wood. We're never going to have an issue with wood in this area, which would be good. You don't really need to plant your own plantation. I tend to have one going around. What have we got over there? Looks like carrots. Or is it turnips? Yeah, more turnips. Oh, what are they? Sage. Ooh. Once again, I think this is part of the alchemy mod I've got running. I can actually grind up, that's lavender, yeah. I can grind up different types of plants and make different potions if I show you what I'm talking about. So I can make using a flask, I can make a archer's potion, which will give me a plus 50 to range and that sort of stuff. You get a mortar and pestle with a bit of plants and off you go. I haven't done it yet. I've made a mortar and pestle, but I haven't used it yet. I've been too busy doing other stuff. Not in this game, but in my other game where I've got where I've put in about 240 hours. Onions. We've got plenty of food around here. I don't have much room in my bags at the moment. I'm just roughly taking a note of where this stuff is. Alright, I'm going to zip over to here and have a quick look at these ruins, and then I'm going to head up to this trader. See what we see. Alright, here's that ruins. Keep looking for any decent resources, mineral resources. At the very least, we've got some bony soil here, which I'll come back for later. Let's try that. Well, that's cool. Grass, I don't mind grass. Can never have enough grass. I actually want the Cooper's Reed. There's a bunch of Cooper's Reed there too. I think there is. What's that? Might be wrong. What is it? Bundle of calamine. Oh, okay. Oh, once again for the potions and that sort of stuff. These mods are cool. I tell you, mods, like I said, just make the game a little bit more interesting as well. I mean, it's a fantastic game, don't get me wrong. I love this game. I'm happy to play it just as the way it is. And I was very reluctant to add mods to it, thinking that I was just going to ruin the... A lot of mods I've added to other games in the past have always sort of detracted from the overall game of it, but these ones just complement it, I'm finding. I did have a mod called Sharks. Really cool, because I find some of the bigger water bodies, you think, why isn't there anything in here living in here wanting to have a piece of me? But I think it's a little early for that mod. I find I was getting little blue sharks chasing me on land. I'm like, okay, we'll come back to that later once it's had a bit of revision done to it. Anyway, we're heading to the trader, who is just basically over this hill. Chickens, once again, these are later on how-to videos. So I've got a whole bunch of plans. I'm planning on just doing a day in the life of a survivor in this game. A bunch of videos as we go along. Anyway, get rid of that. No, that's not what I wanted. Crouch down, hit Q, throws everything that's in your hand away in one hit. Otherwise, if you just hit Q, it throws one at a time. Alright, so these guys, you can actually use these places as a refuge if you get caught out at night time while out exploring. Most of them have beds, like I can actually sleep in this bed if I had to. I can't touch any of this stuff, it won't let me. I try to pick it up and not much happens. Well, I think I can touch it. No, didn't think so. You can see there I don't have the privilege to claim or break. If I right click on this dude, he's flogging this. Now, I have no cogs whatsoever to buy anything, but it's just interesting to see what he's supplying. Pictures are cute, they're just a novelty. You can get tapestries, and I'm wondering whether there's a thing behind the tapestries, like you put all the tapestries together and it makes some sort of story board or something. I'm not sure yet. This is stuff he's happy to take off your hands and pay you for. That bag we're going to make in a little while. Candles, you really want to get your hands on as many candles as possible a little bit later on. Be careful you don't spank that guy. He'll hand your ass to you. I think that will do us for the moment. We'll head back to the base and start making some pottery. Chickens aren't particularly fast. There's a rooster here. You get eggs out of them. Eggs added with soya beans and meat make a really potent stew. That'll basically sedate your hunger for quite a while. Did I figure out where yeah, no, it's down there. Just looking for where the peat was. I'm not bothered right now. I've got enough wood to keep me going. I'll just zip down here. This is a dead end. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Might be worth having a crack at with a pickaxe later once we get that up and going. You might find he's already halfway down there. It makes it a little bit easier for you to... you don't have to work as hard to get down into the ground. I spend most of my time running around like a mad thing, but I've lost count how many times I've just run straight into a giant hole in the ground. And most times I survived the experience, a lot of times I didn't. Might be some cool stuff down there later to look. We've got chickens and goats nearby, and lots of berries over there, which will be good. We've got some blueberries down here. Grab those while I'm at it. That's going to be my lunch. What time is it? Speaking of the devil, it is lunchtime. Blackcurrant. Alright. That one's full as well. Just pick this down. Don't get too close to him, he'll have a crack at you. In my early stages, he'll do a lot of damage to me. Alright, so I want to get some pots up and going. For those who don't know, when you use clay to make stuff, it's in a raw form and has to be fired afterwards to harden it, I guess. So I've chucked some wood in the fire ready to go. So basically I equip the clay in my hand, I lean down and I right click, and here's my recipe menu for clay. As you can see, my extra mods are giving me a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I've got lead vessels here that I use for making sulfuric acid for this can't remember what it's for. Watering cans for your crops once you get them going. All these molds here are what you're going to use to pour your molten copper into to make your hoes and your hammers and your spades and axes and all that sort of stuff. Right now I'm going to be making one of these cooking pot. You need that to cook up, start doing your recipes. I'll make a bowl, which is handy for eating out of my cooking pot. These things here I'll be using for smeltering ores when I get my hands on them. These I'll be making. Actually, the first thing I'm going to make. Let me just check the time. First thing I'm going to make is one of these. This is a raw storage. They're quite big, good for sticking stuff in. So emptying out my bag. So that's the first thing I'm going to make. All right. So clay making. Clay in hand. You can crouch down if you want, but basically the crafting menu for this, you hit F on the keyboard, and you've got different sizes of your voxels. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to use a single one, and I'm going to right click on the green, and it's going to slowly fill it in, like so. Look, this is all pretty basic stuff. If you've been playing this game for a while, you'll probably find these videos are not informative at all. Now that's done, I will go to the bigger voxels, and you can see it just fills in a lot quicker. If you put down a piece of clay where it's not supposed to be there, you get this yellow option. So you got to left click on your mouse to get rid of it. So I'll switch back to a smaller one, and I'll just do one ring around here. These pots take quite a lot of clay, but I'll show you I'm not sure. I think I showed you my skill tree system in the first video. Now that I've done the first ring, I'm now going to hit F, and I'm going to click on duplicate, and now I'm just going to hold the right hand key and not move, and it's going to fill in these sides, and it'll keep going in forever basically until I get to another level where it no longer requires this sort of pattern. Just hang in there a sec, you'll see what it just speeds us up. This is by default part of the game, original vanilla design of the game, so I didn't add this is all part of the game. This will go up for quite a bit. You can see these pots are quite big, and now because I've exceeded, we don't need these yellows. Basically need to come ripped out. Very similar to your naping menu. So get rid of them, and then I hit F, select the smaller one, and quickly zip around the edging here. We're almost done. You can see how much clay I've used so far. I think I was on 44 when I started. You'll note also that once I've finished these greens, they won't actually put down the plan for the next lot until I get rid of that yellow. I'll just quickly, and you can hear a rooster in the background there. Like I said, chickens are good for eggs, but they only eat grain. They're a pain. So in the early stages of the game, grain is a precious commodity, and the last thing you want to do is feed it to a bunch of chooks. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll just starve the little buggers out, or even kill them. So I ate a few of them and left the rest to their own devices, and they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You can't hurt those things. They won't die. They'll just sit around annoying you. They breed like rabbits. And alright, so now we're done. I'll pick him up. I'll now chuck my torch in my hand, because that's ready to go. Now I'll just right click on the fire, and you'll see how quick this thing fires up. There you go, it's already going. Right click on the fire, pick up my pot, stick it in there. Now it needs 600 degrees to basically fire it. This wood's going to do 800, so more than enough, and I've got more than enough. So it won't take too long to get up to temperature. This will get up to 800. This will go past the 800. It only needs 600. So this pot will be up and going in no time, and that'll start taking up some. We'll be able to dump some gear off then, and makes exploring a little easier. All right. So next thing you know, it's going to be the cooking pot. Once again, crouch down, right click, select what I'm after. I've got the wider voxels running at the moment. Done, and I'll zip around. Keep going. I've got a death date with that wolf. Sooner or later I'll dig a pit and take him out of the equation because it makes me nervous hanging around out there, because I'm likely to go exploring and run straight into the bugger and he'll make my life a misery. It takes forever to heal in this game if you don't have any anything to heal yourself with. Yeah, he knows I'm talking about him. That's why he's carrying on like a pork chop. Alright, so that's done. So we'll have a quick look at the pot. That's almost done as well. I'll swap these devices out in a minute. Pot's done. Swap out the pot, the two pots, and off that one goes. Now, if I put this pot down from this angle, it's going to put it in a weird angle. So if you're a bit OCD, a little bit like me, you want to keep it nice and straight. Hit it at the right angle. All right. So now we go. I got my first pot up, so I'm going to chuck stuff that I don't need to carry around with me, obviously, at the moment. I'm going to hang on to that clay. Axes, don't need the doors. I can go in there. I can go up there and there and there and giggling. Alright, cool. He won't take long to do. The next thing I'm going to make is a bowl, because it'll be self-explanatory when I finish making it. And then might go if I've got time permitting. Yeah, I might be able to. I might go quickly scavenge up those turnips and see if I get enough to make a rudimentary stew. That seems to be the word of the month at the moment, rudimentary. By the way it rolls off your tongue. Anyway, had to be there. Alright, so that's almost done. Alright. Pot's gone. Cooking pot's done on the barbie. Chuck this one over here. That one I'll crank up in a minute. Alright, so that's ready to go, start cooking. That's about all I need at the moment. I can do crock pots. So there is, these things are good for storing food in, and if you've got animal fat on you, which I don't at the moment. I don't think I've got any. No, I haven't got any animal fat on me. You get that from killing animals, obviously. You can actually seal up the crock pot, and it will last, in most cases, 100, maybe 200 days, maybe longer. Good for stocking up some food, and you're gonna need to do that when winter rocks up. It's gonna get pretty hard. You're going to spend a lot of your time inside, unfortunately, because it just gets too cold outside. And you head outside, and you'll probably be out for a couple of hours, and then you'll be heading home again before you start keeling over. I got out there. I was outside for so long that my whole screen was just like a snowy background. I couldn't see much at all. And my health was dropping rapidly. So you don't want to stay out in winter. Winters can be very harsh, especially at the mod I'm running. The level I'm running our winters on is harsh. So, all right. So while we wait for that to hook up, I'm going to quickly head over and get those turnips before I forget them. I saw them over here. I think there they are. This will probably give me 2 to 3 turnips. Maybe there's 3 turnips there. Yeah, alright, so there's enough for 2 servings of vegetable stew. Ideally killing that little bugger over there would be perfect. I'll probably get 9 pieces of meat off him, and that would be ideal, because then I can make some good tucker. Alright, what do we got? But yeah, rest assured, I'll take care of you later, mate. Ideally, kill pit that is what I'm going to build in the morning. I'll build a kill pit, then I'll start luring wolves and goats into them, and then I'll get my source, a good source of red meat. Wolves, not so much. They tend to drop bush meat, which is, chuck it on the barbecue and they're all good. But you can't make any pots with bush meat. I've got a few other mods running, like I said, with extra plants. This stuff is called miner's lettuce. Let me get rid of these things. I always replant. I'm not a greenie, but replant as much as possible. And they'll always come back to help you out later. So let's grab some of this stuff. What's it give me? Look, in a pinch, if you're starving to death, they'll probably give you a little bit. Not much. I know some of the mushrooms in this game are poisonous. There's that wolf again. What's that? There's some turnips. I'll get nothing out of that if I bash it. Just have a quick look down here. Got some berry bushes. A few ruies. I'm going to actually rip these guys up and take them back to the base. That way I can... I think they take about 2 weeks to mature into a decent bush that gives off berries. But I tend to surround my base with these things. I've also got a mod in here with a particularly brutal type of berry bush that has spikes on it, so you can actually surround your base with these things and they'll act as a natural defense. But we're getting pretty dark now, so I need to head back to the base. I think, have I got wood? No, I'll have to probably go bash a tree down. I might just quickly chuck these outside. Don't forget. Come back to these guys later. Yeah, that'll do for now. Alright, cool. And that pot should be ready to go, I would imagine. Through this crap. So my food pot's ready. Yeah, we're good. You can see this birch maple wood takes a while to burn, which is good. Alrighty, so we're going to chuck that in. So when you chuck a cooking pot in, you automatically get these 4 pots pop up, slots pop up. Now you got to put in even numbers. So 6 doesn't work. Okay, if I put in 1 and 1, I get 1 serving. So here I'm going to get, and you can hear the pot starting to cook. And now I'm going to get 3 servings of turnip stew. I'm not sure if I can put berries in there. Maybe I can. No, it doesn't want to let me use berries. So nothing cooks. If it doesn't like the ingredients you added, nothing much happens. What about that? That's just crap anyway. Alright, so that'll take a little bit of cook. That'll take up... I'm not sure what temperature that cooks in, nor do I care. I'm slowly picking up these reeds. I'll make another basket in a little while. In my bags, this stuff lasts for 3 days. In these pots, almost double, if not more. Hang on to these seeds, we'll plant them later. Is that going in there yet? No, it's not, so I'm going to stick that up there. Definitely, that wolf is definitely getting closer. He's definitely going to be dealt with tomorrow. Okay, so the next thing, with the flax fibres, we put them in a square like so. That gives me 1 flax twine. I don't have enough for 2. You get 4 of these and then I can make a linen sheet, and then 1 of these and the linen sheet gives me a linen bag, which I'll show you a bit later. I'll find a few more fibres tomorrow. Let's have a look here. That one's ready to go. So it's not a huge meal, but it's better than eating them by themselves. So I'll just chuck that on the ground, grab my pot, target the pot, right click, and now my pot's full, and then I can eat that, and you watch my health bar pop up, and I can take a couple of meals out of that, eat it again. I will take a third and leave that in my bag. Actually no, I'm going to leave this in my, yeah, the wolf is very close by now and he's not particularly friendly. Yeah, he's very close by. I'm going to take care of him in the morning, get out there and dig a pit and show him who's boss. Right, so the time is 8 o'clock. I'll close this extra door. Actually I should think about putting the, yeah, let's do this, We'll chuck him across there. Perfect. Now I'm completely safe from the elements. There's nothing out there that can have a crack at me. So this stuff here I use as some really basic first aid stuff, so we'll keep that aside. I haven't actually seen any other recipes I can do with this stuff. I think it's just like a berry, not much. You get a little bit of food out of it and a little bit of health points. You get not as much as a berry, but yeah, it'll do. Alright, so that's going. Got the pot. I left the pot on there because it's not going to make a lot of difference. I'll keep the wood burning for the night, and I've got extra wood to get me through the night. We're pretty much good to go. I might... no, I won't do the floor. I'll do the floor. I'll make sure I got the right level. So right now we're nice and safe in here. It's 8:30 at night. If I go to bed now, it's going to be 3-4 o'clock in the morning before I wake up, and then I'll be sitting around like a shag on a rock for about an hour before I can do anything. Just having a look at some of the things I've got going in here. We can do a mortar and pestle. Allows me to make all these potion bases for. And it doesn't take much to make them, as you can see. Archer's potion. I'm just going to make this. There's quite a lot involved in getting these potions up and going. This potion here gives you a plus 50% to healing effectiveness. Lasts a minute and a half. But if I click on that, this thing here, to make this, I'm going to need some clear quartz. And I can't get my hands on that until I'm into the Bronze Age or surface. It might go for cloudy quartz. At the moment it looks like clear quartz. So although really handy, it's going to be a little bit ways down the track before I can start making that stuff. So alright, so I think I'm going to call it a night on this third night at the end. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll be doing that in the next couple of days. Hit the subscribe button if you like what I've done today. I'm really enthusiastic about this game. I want to share what I've learned. Like I said, steep learning curve in this game. A lot of stuff you figure out, which even makes it even more enjoyable. So yeah, click like and hit subscribe, and leave me any comments if you think there's something else I could be showing you. I'm happy to do that, and I shall see you on the flip side. Loken out.